Rights to freedom is dead. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I'm your host, Afro Elite. Thank you all for watching because we have much to discuss this evening. We're going to be discussing the Cooking with Kaya controversy. This is a young black woman who's making cooking videos. She has a little brand, a theme to her. She's blowing up. She's on different podcasts now. Everybody's talking about her all through social media, all through YouTube, all through TikTok, all through Instagram. And there's a little bit of controversy. There's some people who are upset and let's be honest, a bit jealous of her. And some people who don't know why she's blowing up the way she is. So there's a bit of jealousy and then there's a bit of confusion. So for the people who are a little confused as to why she's blowing up, we're going to articulate, because there's some people who are not jealous of her, but who also do, have a brand and they do want to blow up and they don't understand the formula that she's using. She's using a very smart formula from a marketing point of view. If I was just a businessman from a marketing point of view, she's using a good formula. So hopefully in this video, if you guys stay tuned, in this video, we're going to be letting you guys know exactly why. I'll explain exactly what the formula is and why she's blowing up, and then how other people can utilize that formula with their own brand in a unique way so they can blow up and they can become successful. And then we're also going to get into the haters, because there's just some people who they ain't trying to get big or anything like that. They just really hating just to hate, and we're going to articulate that as well too. So this is the video. These are the videos that she makes, all right? She makes these videos where she does a little, like a slight little show. She reveals the food first, which is good. She reveals the food. She does a little dance. She has a theme when she sings the thing in the beginning, maybe a quick intro, and then she gets into the cooking tutorial, and that's what you see. We're going to watch the video. I'm going to show you the video, not all of it, because she uses music and I just tuned that out. So not all of it, but just enough for you to get the vibe of what's going on.
Cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya.
So right here, there would normally be music being played, but now there's not any music being played because I had to mute it, because YouTube does not allow music. It's not nearly as liberal with music copyright as TikTok, Instagram, not nearly. So I just completely cut all that stuff out. YouTube is very strict with that. All right. And as you can see, she's, seasoning the food. She's preparing all of the sides and stuff like that. And this is how she gets her finished product. All right. Now, let me explain to you guys, for the people, and she puts the ingredients there, all that stuff. Great. Okay. Let me explain to you all exactly what is causing her to blow up. And then we're going to get to the jealousy thing, because there are people who actually want to know. All right. What she's using. I'm going to explain what she's using, and then towards the end of the video, I'm going to explain how you can utilize this, whether you're a male or a female, cooking or not cooking. This is a formula that can be universal with all brands. All right. There's a universal formula with all brands, and then it kind of gets a little bit more customized depending on your brand or your niche. But what she's doing is the Cooking with Kaya thing. Just from a marketing point of view, the name is easy to remember. The name is catchy. Just the name Kaya is short, it's catchy, it's easy to remember. She sings a little jingle with it. Jingles from a psychological point of view, which is why a lot of commercials like to use little jingles and songs and stuff. And you can Google all of what I'm saying. This is marketing. From a marketing point of view, they use jingles. McDonald's does it. A bunch of different fast food restaurants does it. Insurance company does it. That's all of this stuff. You can name an insurance company. The Nationwide is on your side. That little jingle and stuff like that, or the ba da ba 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 from McDonald's. All of that stuff is supposed to stick with you. It's supposed to be easy to remember. It's easy to remember stuff, jingles and stuff like that, which is why companies do it. So when you have something like that, that's short, easy to remember, and she sings it briefly in the beginning, it sticks in people's head. So from a marketing point of view, it's very good. All right. Another thing that she does is she shows you when she's introducing the thing, she shows you the plate first. Before you see anything, you see the food first. All right? Which is good. Now, some people, they start off and they just kind of start off cooking if that's their style. I'm not trying to hate on anybody's thing, but I'm trying to show you what she's doing just from a marketing point of view that's making her successful. Showing you the food first. She does the little jingle, the cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya. She does that. And she does a little ass shake. All right. Small amount. Not a huge amount. She's not out doing no booty popping split on the countertop. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of sex appeal. Now, if you want to implement that, do you need like to shake your ass? No, you don't. All right. And we're going to get into how other women, and if you're a man too, the formula for people to use later on. But we're just talking about Kaya as at this moment right now. All right. A little bit of it. One of the things that separates her from other people is because she understands the sensitivity of that. All right. It's a little sex appeal. Now, some people might say it's a little much. It's not. It's a little ass shake in the very beginning, and then that's it. For the rest of the video, you don't see any like ass shots. You don't see her bending over to put the macaroni in the oven. You don't see her really doing that. You don't see her pouring maple syrup on her chest. Or you don't see nothing like that. All right. It's a little bit. All right. So she's mastered essentially the small, delicate gray area that you can be where you're thirst trapping a little bit, but it's not like trashy. It's not like, okay, that's just too much. Okay, you really doing it too much. Because she does that and it hooks you in. The hook is very important. Hooks you in, and then for the rest of the video, she shows the food. Now, the rest of the video, the food would have to be good because the hook, they'll hook people in, but you want people to stay in. That's the important part too. A lot of people focus on the hook in the very beginning. You can't just focus on the hook. You have to have a good ending, a good finishing product. A movie can hook you in the beginning and then the rest of the movie be bad, and people think about the rest of the movie. Nobody thinks about the hook. The ending has to be good. Arguably, the ending has to be better than the hook. The hook is what gets people in. The ending is what keeps people talking about it and recommending it and coming back. If the hook is good and everything after the hook is lackluster, people are going to say, nah, it's catfishing. It comes off as catfishing. It comes off as clickbaity, and people are going to turn away from your brand. It's going to put a stain on your brand. So a hook is important because you want people to lock in with your initial brand or video or whatever, but you want the rest of the content to be good content because that's what gets people to invest in your brand and to come back. All right. So with Cooking with Kaya, the food is good food. Now, a lot of people like the food looks cheap and look bad. No, the food is good food. Well, I mean, I haven't tasted it, but the food looks good. I have not seen that. I haven't watched all of her videos, but I have not seen any food she's cooked that been like, I'll pass on that. Nah, I don't really know about that. All right. She cooks good food from what I've seen. She looks like she knows how to cook good food. She cooks a variety of different food, which is good. We have to understand also, cooking is always there's always a market for cooking videos. Always. When I was a kid, you get to watch cooking videos where old ladies was cooking in the kitchen. Cooking has always been the thing. Cookbooks, you got a whole library, like shelves and areas dedicated to cookbooks. cooking is always a thing. It's always a market, okay? This is something that you got men who do it, like Chef Ramsay and all that stuff. But mostly when it comes to the whole cooking market and the cooking niche, women dominate the cooking niche. And there's a way you can do it. She's understanding that. She knows the way you can do that. And that's good for her. Now, there's a lot of people who, unfortunately, because she's been blowing up a lot lately. I used to see her videos before it kind of blew up. I don't really like follow cooking stuff on TikTok. I don't really be on TikTok like that. But I don't really follow cooking stuff on TikTok. But I used to see it before it blew up. She blew up. Good for her. All right. She's getting flown out or on I don't know if she's getting flown out, but she's going on different podcasts. A lot of stuff. Good for her. She might get a brand deal out of this. She might get a sponsor or something like that. Good for her. I wish her the best. She's not really doing nothing to bother anybody like that. A lot of people are coming up with reasons to dislike her because in a couple of her videos, she was like, "Oh, I'll take your man. I'll take your man. You better cook like this, or I'll take your man." And they be like, "Oh, you're a pick me. You're a pick me." I'm gonna say this: y'all call anybody and their mama a pick me who's not a misandrist. Okay. If you are not a woman who believes in misandry, you're a pick me. So, I mean, y'all honestly just ran that pick me term to the ground. They also tried to come up with a fake Instagram account where they said she was 17 years old, found out that that was completely fake, and that she's in her, I think, 23, I believe at this date. She's 23 years old. So she's in her early 20s. All right. So, no, it's a lot of stuff and a lot of people hating on her for no reason, really, whatsoever. You now have people who are trying to find out because they don't want to admit that they're kind of jealous that she's getting this shine and they don't really understand where it's coming from. They're upset she's getting it and they don't want to come off as haters. So instead of saying something negative about her, which you really can't, she really doesn't have any like controversy or has said anything like super controversial or anything like that where you can really hate on her. So now what a lot of people are doing besides hating on her is they're doing two things. One, they're comparing her to other chefs, which we're going to get into. And then they're hating on the men because what she's doing, a lot of fellas is liking that. A lot of brothers is liking that. They like the sex appeal. They like the food. They like the overall vibe that they're getting from her. All right. So they're hating on, a lot of the haters are hating on the men who like her videos. I'm going to show you this one clip right here.
Cooking with Kaya is popular among the men because she's extremely relatable and attainable. I'm literally going to break the system down for you, okay? Y'all are talking about, oh, I was expecting her to be on Nara Smith's level, blah, 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 blah. What regular man, especially nigga, is eating that pallet of food on the daily? No, he's eating the stuff he was used to his mama making when he was growing up. Majority of people in society are average, if you didn't know. So that means that most men are going to be average. And what they're attracted to, in theory, will also be average. Because you also have to take into account the man has to be able to pull the woman. Okay? And usually men are most attracted to things on average that they perceive they can pull. So
that doesn't no. Men and women, this is not a gender sex thing. Male or female, men and women, people like things that they can pull all the time. Okay, you're not gonna not be attracted to something because that's who you're attracted to is out of your league. Men and women, there's a lot of men and women. Okay, this is not a man thing or a woman thing. Men and women are very often attracted to people way out of their league. So the whole, well, if you're an average man, you're gonna like an average woman. No, not necessarily. It's true to a certain degree, but it's not true to the degree where you're not gonna like a woman of higher status because you're an average man. If A man is making average income if he's making within the like $60,000 a year, like what is it, like 40,000, $60,000 a year. He's not going to be like, I'm not attracted to a woman who makes $500,000 a year because I don't make that much money. That's not how attraction works. All right. Is he going to find, and that's not how men work at all. All right. Finances, that's when it comes to finances, that's a much bigger factor in a woman's attraction to a man than it is a man's attraction to a woman. That's another video though, but it's a much bigger factor there. But when it comes to a man liking someone who's average, notice she's saying that she's average, which is a diss. That's slightly throwing shade. She's trying to call Kaya average, but she's not trying to directly call Kaya average. What she's saying is, well, I'm not going to say anything against Kaya. I'm going to say the men are average, which she's saying it in the context of low tier. She's saying average, but with the context of low tier in a very condescending way. So she's saying average men like average women, which she's referring to Kaya. So that's a by proxy shade being thrown towards Kaya. All right. So we're going to continue and we're going to break it down as we go along.
Y'all are over here talking about like other creators that cook better or look better or whatever. Bro, these men don't even have the funds to even believe that they can have a conversation with some of those people, okay? They don't have the looks, the socioeconomic class, the social tier, the nothing, okay? Which is where her appeal comes in, because she's an average girl making average meals in her average home, shaking her ass in her average tight outfits. Men love that shit. The demographic.
To pause it again, the average. She's saying this stuff in a very condescending way. The average, she's an average girl in an average home, cooking average meals, all of this stuff. What she's trying to do, and a lot of women, there's a lot of haters, let's be honest, trying to bring Kaya down a peg. So by first attacking the men who like Kaya, or the audience, because it's men and women who like Kaya, but a lot of the blow up is because the men like Kaya and the men kind of gravitate to Kaya, right? So attacking the men who like Kaya is a way you can attack Kaya, but like, well, the men are average and she's average and the men like her because she's average. No. All right. And we're going to get into this a little after. I want to finish the rest of the video before I continue. But the thing is that the vibe that Kaya gives is not because they're like, it's attainable. No, the vibe that she gives is attainable, but they're not factoring in that because they're looking at it from a female point of view and not a male point of view. All right. The vibe that Kaya gives is a very homey girl next door vibe. It's nothing over the top, which is why a lot of women mess up. We're going to get to that after I finish this video. Kaya does not do the absolute most. It's not over the top. It has a very down to earth. This is what a lot of men say, which is something that, I mean, not new. Some men been saying for the longest, but she has a very down to earth, bubbly, fun type of vibe where it seems as if you were to have a conversation, she would engage with you and you could have a decent conversation with her. That's the vibe that she gives off. Not saying that nobody else gives that vibe. Not saying you have to be like her. Not saying that, but this is the vibe that a lot of the men like. And a lot of the reasons why men like her. The whole thing comes together. It's not just one single thing. It's a lot of factors that add up. Okay. Like I said earlier, the marketing is genius. It's great marketing. But let's finish this video because I want to get into that a little bit more after the video is finished.
Of people also coming into contact with her content, if you haven't been paying attention, are average, okay? maybe a little bit below. But yeah. And so I understand like a little bit of feeling gaslit because, you know, being told, oh, women don't cook, women don't this, women don't that. I won't break that apart because that actually take me forever to get to the bottom of that system. But yeah, just know that if you're a woman and you feel like men are being delusional and you're being gaslit, know that that's a sign that those aren't the men that you need to be entertaining or talking to. Okay? Because the type of men that you entertain and talk to will be on the same page, or at least loosely, with what they think is valuable, attractive, or whatever in a woman.
Okay. So this is her essentially saying she's upset that men find Kaya attractive. She can't say that Kaya is not attractive. That's the thing. She can't say that Kaya, she got an ugly face. She can't say that Kaya has an ugly body. She can't say that Kaya is unattractive. She can't say that. So what she's saying is Kaya is average in all of these other aspects. I mean, she don't know what apartment she lives in or where she, or at least I don't know what apartment she lives in, where she lives, how much money we don't know all that stuff. But the overall thing, when it comes to Kaya's appeal, her attraction when it comes to a lot of men, is the fact that she gives a girl next door vibe. Some of these other chefs, no disrespect, and they do good for their brand. Kaya understands her brand. She understands her audience, and she makes content based off of who her target demographic audience is. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If I was her manager, I would say, okay, keep doing that. All right. Because sometimes, let's be honest, some people don't want the super big, luxurious kitchen. Some people like it and it's great and it works for some people and it's absolutely wonderful. Sometimes people like hey, I'm just at the house. I'm just, cooking up some chicken. I'm baking my macaroni and everything. A more down to earth, downsized vibe. Just like when it comes to YouTube, sometimes people like big studios with super big lights and cameras and all of this fancy equipment. Sometimes people love that stuff. Sometimes people like a person who's like making YouTube videos off their cell phone, literally off their cell phone. Sometimes people like people in the middle. It depends on who your audience like. And on top of that, just because somebody might like Kaya does not mean that they might not like somebody else. I'm going to give you this example right here. They're comparing Kaya because, like I said, they're trying to bring Kaya down a peg. They're comparing Kaya to this other chef named Ja. She has been on TikTok, from what I've researched, longer than Kaya. She has a bigger profile than Kaya. She has a really big house. She cooks really luxurious meals. And no shade, she does a phenomenal. I'm gonna show you a clip of how she gets down. All right, look at this.
Honey pineapple glazed ham. This is a candy yam, y'all. Okay. When I say I want candy yams, this is how I want my sauce on my. Here I go. Garlic and herb Cajun turkey. Wow. Get into this mac and cheese. Meaty spicy greens. When I say I want gravy and turkey. Wow. Yeah, bomb that looks. More.
Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with her content. There's nothing wrong with her content. There's nothing wrong with her vibe. Absolutely nothing. I don't think she should, if it's work, clearly it is. And if it's working for her and her brand and her audience, you have to understand, just because you're cooking doesn't mean you have the same audience. Okay. Now, as you can see, she doesn't do a little ass shaking or anything like that in the kitchen. Or she doesn't have that. Or she doesn't have the little intro lingo that Kaya has. She doesn't have that. And that's fine, because she understands, she has her own audience, her own formula, and it's working for her. Okay. She's showing the food. The food looks phenomenal. The food looks delicious. All right. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that now there's this competition that a lot of the women initiated. The women have initiated this competition between Kaya and Jai. They've initiated this competition in order to bring Kaya down a peg without seeming like a hater, which even though they do seem like haters, what they're doing now is they're saying, oh, well, Ja makes better food. Why are men not liking Ja? Even though Ja has a bigger profile. No offense, because she's been doing it longer. She has a bigger profile, so it's not like Ja's just out here getting slept on. But they're like, well, why do men not like Ja? It's because men are average or below average, and Ja is just something that they can't get, and Kaya seems more obtainable. No. They got two different styles. And let's be honest, you don't know that men don't like Ja. You don't know that. But men like Kaya because Kaya has a certain style that's unique to her that men like. But you got a lot of people out here desperately trying to bring Kaya down a peg. So in order to do that, like I said, they attack the men who vibe with Kaya. So any men who vibe with Kaya, all of a sudden you're broke and you don't have good taste in women. It's not the men who disrespected Ja. It's not like men are saying, "Nah, I don't like Ja. I don't like." Nobody's dissing Ja, but just you liking Kaya means that you don't like Ja for some reason, according to them. And it also means that you're broke and you don't have a good taste in women, and you don't apparently make no money and have no goals or have no ambitions in life. Apparently, let them tell it. All right, because Kai is average. Let them tell it. And only the men who like average women like her. All right. There's this other woman who says kind of the same thing. Look at this.
So a man posted a video talking about cooking with Kaya versus cooking with Jai, and he said that men like cooking with Kaya because she
If it's Jai, if I mispronounced it earlier, I apologize. It's Jai. All right.
seems attainable. And by attainable, he means they can afford her. And by they can afford her,
If y'all would be so kind, make sure you guys like, subscribe, everything. Make sure y'all do that, please. Thank you.
it means cheap. And no, I'm not calling.
And obtainable does not mean cheap. That's not what that means. Obtainable doesn't mean cheap. But let's continue.
My girl cheap because she is running them pockets. She is running them ragged. But what he's saying is, right, they cannot get a girl like Jai because they cannot afford her. They cannot afford the house that she's living in. Her kitchen, it looks expensive. They can't afford that. But he said, but Kai, she lives in a regular old apartment. I can approach a girl like that. And you know what that did to me? It just motivated me. It just put a battery in my fucking back. Oh my God. And I mean, we've all known this, right? Because what was that chunky boy that went on Shannon Sharp and said he don't date women that have means because he needs to be able to hold something over the women's head. So I mean, like, we know that, but it just like is, I mean, a part of the allure is the ass shaking. And also they be trying to gaslight us, right? Because he's like, oh, you know, it's not just about the ass shaking. It's like a perfect mixture, right? Here's this girl, this gorgeous girl with a nice body that normally they would anticipate that there's already a man like trying to take care of. But here she is in a regular apartment and she looks like she's trying to be domestic for men. And they doing these now think pieces trying to gaslight us. And it's like, no, because she seems like just such a fun, down to earth girl and blah, blah, blah. And this is all men want is a woman that's willing to cook for them and be down to earth. She is playing y'all.
Okay, first off, no. And we're going to get into the second video because she's referencing it in this video, and then she stitches it, because this is TikTok. She put this on TikTok. Then she stitches it, which means she like kind of has a follow-up video referencing the first video she was talking about. But I just want to play the first video. No, people are not getting played and all of that stuff. We are not gaslighting. It's the women who are saying all of the negative comments and all of the little shade that's being thrown. Oh, the problem with cooking with Kai, all of this. That's women who are doing that. Women are the ones doing that. So if the men say, well, this is the reason why we prefer cooking with Kai, because let's be very honest, let's be very clear. The whole competition between cooking with Kaya and cooking with Jai, that came up because women tried to knock Kaya down a peg. That's the reason why that came up. Men didn't create this competition between Kaya and Jai. Men didn't do that. Women did that to bring Kaya down a peg. Oh, Jai cooks way better food. Jai is way better. Jai got a big house. Jai got this. Jai got that. Which, okay. And you only did that to knock Kaya down a peg. So they're the ones who created this competition. When men said, okay, well, this is why we kind of vibe, because there are some men who vibe with both. I think both can cook good food. I don't see a problem with any of their brands, any of their vibes, or anything like that, right? They both seem like cool girls to me from what I've seen of their videos. I haven't watched all their content. But the thing is that when certain men say, oh, well, I prefer Kaya for these reasons, then it becomes, oh, men like Kaya because of this, men like Kaya because of that. Really trying to hate on is straw man arguments to hate on the men, to by proxy hate on Kaya, which is what they're doing. Let's continue. It's all right.
And I'm here for it. Listen, I am here for it, my girl. Keep baking that macaroni and cheese and shake your ass. Cause men are stupid. These are the same men that will run up her content, right? They will run up her content. They will watch her content. They will talk shit about her content. I mean, they will talk shit to other women. Like I posted a video about it, and I had to start blocking men. Because men came in the comments like, yeah, because women don't cook and women can't do this and these, and then they started talking about these black bitches. Whoa, is she not black? But anyway, so, and then if she ever, like, you know, that OF star that came out and let it be known that she made like $49 million this year, and now men are mad and men are dragging her, when in reality men are the one that subscribed to her, men are the one that made her $49 million. So if Kaya comes out and says, oh, I'm buying me a Range Rover, I just bought me a new house, because, you know, men are running up her views and running up the traffic to her page, they're gonna turn on her.
No, and we're gonna listen. No, that's not gonna happen. We are the ones who are hoping that Kaya does well. It's the women who are the one trying to create fake pages saying that she's 17 years old to steer people away from her content. It's the women who are saying her food is average, her food don't even look that good. It's the women who are saying her house is average, she's average, the men who like her are low quality and all. It's all of the shade and the negativity. It's all the women doing that. The men, we're not gonna care as long as she keeps the same energy and the same vibe. It's not the whole thing of we want her to be broke. That's not the thing. We know she kind of getting them back right now, as she should. As long as she stays true to herself and doesn't change up, she's good. All right. They're not getting the value. They're not the value. They're not getting what makes her marketable. All right. And it's not that things are cheap that is making her marketable. All right. But let's continue. Because now she's saying this and like men are going to, like, she's wishing this to a degree. Oh, men are going to turn on you when you get a little bit of money.
They're going to turn
Because you've seen men do that. And with the OnlyFans girl, nobody turned on that OnlyFans. She didn't lose no subscriptions when she said how much money she made. Now, people assumed, there were some people assuming that she wasn't telling the truth, but that's it. It's not like nobody turned on her.
And they're gonna start saying, "Oh, bitches, all bitches ever want to do is come on here and shake their ass. You don't got nothing to offer. So what if you cook? So what? So what? All you do is cook and shake your ass." My girl, you better keep looking. Now, I'm not gonna say poor, because apartment living is not poor. Because some apartments be expensive as fuck. The cost. Listen, my mortgage is cheaper than rent in my area. So apartment living is not cheap, fellas. Apartment living is not cheap. I don't know who told y'all that. I think only like a man that don't have his own would think that. Because my mortgage is less than the apartments in the area. But anyway, I say all that to say, girl, you need to keep. Don't start flaunting. Whatever you buy off of this bag that you finna make, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Because the minute you start flaunting that you're successful, and these men that don't have a lot going for them start seeing that you do have a lot going for you, and that you would also need a man that has something going for himself and that has, a money making mind, they gonna hate you.
Lord, okay. And this is shade. This is shade. Now, the last bit of advice where she's all like, "Oh, stay away from the men, because they're gonna turn on you when they find out that you got something going for yourself. If you do well, the men who like you are gonna hate you all of a sudden when you do what?" No, that little warning, that's low key shade. The little keep shaking your ass in the kitchen and pretend to be broke, that's a backhanded compliment. She's being shady. This whole video shows hatred. That's what it is. Let's be very honest. Nobody, as long as she keeps the same energy, as long as she doesn't get like her whole vibe change and the energy as long as that doesn't change, she's gonna be okay. Because men are not praying, and I don't want to say men and paint all women in a broad brush. Let me not do that, because there's a lot of women who are supporting her. Let me not do that. All right, let me not paint all women with one broad brush. But the segment of people who are hating on her are women. You might got a couple, like maybe 2% of men, but there are women who are doing that. Go through all of the comments, all of the videos of people being critical of her, people saying negative things, shade. They're women. Let's just be very honest. The men are not the ones plotting on her downfall. Let's be very honest with that. But she got a lot of criticism, and then she made a follow-up video. And this is her follow-up video. And we got to break this down too.
Understand aesthetics means a lot. Like aesthetic means a lot. And I'm not just talking about the aesthetics or how the person looks. Now, peep game, if y'all was thinking about this, but I was thinking about it. Because I seen the Cooking with Ja person and I seen the Cooking with Kaya. Cooking with Ja looks unattainable to regular men. Like, no funny shit. That looks unattainable to regular men. Like, even the size of the kitchen looks unattainable to regular men. But Cooking with Kaya looks attainable. Like, not to say that she ain't doing her thing, but that looks like an apartment instead of a house. Like, she looks relatable. She looks like regular guys can talk to her, but she still looks good while cooking at that. And the Cooking with Ja just look like she's supposed to be in somebody's chef, or she's in somebody's house chefing up, cooking for whoever is in the house. Cooking with Kaya look like she's making a meal for herself and her boyfriend. Like, the aesthetic means a lot. I don't think y'all understand that. I think that's what they get. Women be getting it fucked up because women be saying shit like, "Oh, you should check out Cooking with Ja. Cooking with Ja's real tea." Is because she looks unattainable. So, like, she looks like you can't walk up to her and holler at her like a regular person because of her background, her aesthetic. Like, most guys, when they're watching her video, I'm pretty sure they're thinking, yeah, she look good and all that, but I don't got enough money to be keeping her in a big-ass house. And Cooking with Kaya look like she's somebody down to earth that you can talk to, that is not going to push the background aesthetic in your face.
Oh, so it is about money.
Let me break down, no, because she said it is about money. No, let me break this down. For you, okay? Like I said, nothing wrong with Jaya. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with her house. Nothing wrong with her aesthetic. It works for her. She got millions of people who follow her, at least on TikTok, from what I've seen. I don't know about Instagram or any other social media. It works for her. It's good. She shouldn't change it. If is not broke, don't fix it, okay? It works for her. Now, what Kaya is doing also works for her too. Even though they're cooking, they don't have to be the same. They can have two completely different styles, two completely different niches and brands and hooks and everything, and it works for them, and that's good for them. Now, what the man was saying is that cooking with Kaya, like I was trying to say, gives a more down to earth, homie or homegirl vibe. All right. When you look at the aesthetic of the house, not just them walking out, when you look at this, you have a more, and I don't think her vibe is wrong. I've listened to some of her videos. She seems like a cool girl, cool lady. When you just look at her, you see expensive stuff, which probably means she's gonna drive an expensive car. And I'm just translating what he's saying. All of this stuff, and what comes with that stuff a lot of times, which is what he said, which she's gonna overlook. What comes with that a lot of times is women act bougie. And I don't think Jaya is bougie. I don't know her. But from the video, she doesn't give a bougie energy from the videos. But just if you was just to take still images of Jai and compare it to Kaya and ask the average person, who do you think is more bougie? Who do you think would talk to a regular person? Who do you think would look down on a regular person? People would say, well, it's probably going to be Jai. Only because with women who got money like that and all that stuff, they roll with certain circles, and anybody who doesn't have a Range Rover or a nice brand new car or anything like that, anybody below their tax bracket, and I'm not saying she's like that, a lot of people, not just women, but a lot of people who are of that status, they don't really interact with people who are average status, if we can say that, with a lot of respect. So people understand what he was trying to say is men understand that when it comes to Jai, which, let's be honest, the only reason there's a competition is because women made this a competition. But when it comes to Jaya, men understand that, okay, if I had to choose one of the two, who do I think would give me more of the time of day? Just purely, like he said, aesthetic, not based off of personality or anything, purely based off of just look at the size of the kitchen. Imagine the size of a house. The average person does not cook in a multi-million-dollar kitchen. That is not what the average man or woman is cooking in, living in, nothing. The average person is not driving in a car that's worth $500,000. That is not what the average person is doing. Now, I don't know what Jai's car is like, or Kaya's car for that matter, but just based off of that stuff. So when you see that stuff, you get I don't know. And a lot of men still like Jaya, and they still like her vibe, and they still like all that stuff. All right. But the thing is that there's some people who are attracted to something that they feel is a little bit more relatable. It gives a different vibe. There's a lot of people, and this doesn't just go when it comes to cooking or even women. It's a lot of people who like things that are a little bit more down to earth, a little bit more downscale. You know what I'm saying? For instance, YouTube. There are some people who make skits and they got multi-million-dollar productions to assist them with their skits. A lot of people like those skits. A lot of people like those videos. Big celebrities, big following, big money in the skits. And then there are some people who literally use their cell phone, just their cell phone, and some friends and family, and make skits in their house and make skits in their backyard. And they do arguably just as well as the people who have big $1,000,000 productions. And the reason for that is because some people like Simple things. Some people like things that are a little bit more homey, more down to earth, and they can connect with it. They can vibe with it differently. Not saying that you can't vibe with somebody who got a lot of money, not saying you can't enjoy their not saying that, but the vibe is different. That's what I'm saying. It's different. So Kaya's appeal to men is different, not more or less. I'm not saying it's more or less, but it is different than Jaya's appeal. Her appeal is different. It doesn't make the men who like Kaya, even if you like her more, it doesn't make you less sophisticated, don't make you broke, don't make you nothing. It's the vibe is different than Kaya. Jai. It's different. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what he was really trying to say, based off of the look and the energy that you get from them and the vibe that you get from them. There's a reason why men are like, I kind of like Kaya. I kind of like Kaya. You know what I'm saying? These are the girls I probably would be around more often. I could probably engage in conversation with easier, more often. You know, I could probably enjoy their company a little bit easier. And this may be just his opinion. I'm translating it because a lot of people kind of understood where he was coming from. But the ultimate thing is that their vibe is different. Jaya has a more her kitchen is beautiful, her food is beautiful, everything about it is luxurious, and it's great. She has a very high class upscale vibe with great luxurious meals and everything. Good for her. That's working for her. Keep doing that. Kaya is a more homey, kind of flirtatious little, down to earth girl next door thing, and that's working for her. It's good for her. She's cooking good meals. Everything's great. She needs to keep doing that because that's what's working for her. And two things can work for two different people. Now, if they try to do a swap in reverse, it might not work. Kaya might not be, her vibe might not be the same if she had a big, luxurious, multi-million-dollar kitchen. Jaya might not be the same if she was in an apartment, a smaller apartment. I'm not going to say average, a smaller apartment. But if it's working for them, it's working for them. But like I said, they're not going to say that because what they want to say is they want to say the men who like Kaya are average, which is a diss. So that means Kaya is average, which is a diss. Let's look at what she had to say.
It is about the fact that Jai looks expensive and that he said that most men can't afford to maintain her lifestyle or keep her in a house like that. So here's the thing. Men are in the comments talking about how
yeah, most men cannot do that. Most men are not making multiple millions of dollars. Most men, black, white, nothing. Most men are not making multiple millions of dollars a year. Just come on now.
I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, so let's discuss this. So you see two black women in a kitchen cooking, and because of what Jai's background or aesthetic, as he keeps calling it, saying that she's shoving her aesthetic in his face. Because of that, that's why he doesn't want her. Because he's like, look at her big ass kitchen. He also made the point.
And another thing, he's saying that's why he doesn't want her. No, that's not what he's saying. That's not why he doesn't. What do you mean he wants her? That doesn't even make sense. What he's saying is that's why Kaya has a different appeal. Where Jai, because I think it's Jai, where Jai has an appeal, Kaya doesn't have an appeal. Where Kaya has an appeal, Jai doesn't have an appeal. That's what he was ultimately saying. And there are some people who gravitate more to Kaya's appeal than Jai's appeal, which is not a diss to Jai.
To say that Jai, in her own kitchen, in her multi-million-dollar home that she bought as a self-made millionaire, he's...
All right. She just admitted it's a multi-million-dollar home because she's a self-made millionaire. The average person is not a millionaire. And the average man, let's be honest, the average man is going to be like, well, between a girl who makes around the money I make, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, versus a woman who makes multiple $1 million a year, I'm probably going to have a better chance talking to the woman who makes the average, quote unquote, income, a more down to earth income. And the reason for that is not because men don't like women with money. Is the reason for that is because men understand women who tend to, and I'm not saying Jai is like this, I'm not, but men understand women who tend to make top tier type money tend to have an attitude, okay, that is different from women who don't make that type of money. Women, not saying Jai, but women who make multiple millions of dollars, they make $500,000, you know what I'm saying, a year, and they live in great houses and all that stuff. They tend to have a more stuck up, bougie attitude in the eyes of a lot of people. They tend to have a stuck up, bougie attitude. They don't like engaging in conversations with people who are not on their tax bracket. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff. A lot of reasons why some people might feel like, nah, I'm not even going to really even approach that or talk to that. But the girl who is probably more grounded and can kind of relate to me a little bit more, there's an appeal to her that's different from her. Not that the woman who makes multiple millions of dollars is not appealing, but to a certain demographic she is. To my demographic, this girl might be more appealing. They might both be appealing, but that's essentially what he's saying. All right, it is not a diss to either one, nor does it make the man broke. Because, like I said before, the average person does not make multiple millions of dollars a year. The average person does not make $1 million a year. The average person doesn't make $500,000 a year. The average person doesn't make $250,000 a year. That is not what the top tier, you're only making a quarter of that. And you would be considered like top tier in America in general. Very high class, making $250,000 a year. Okay, you'd be doing way. I mean, I'm talking about if you made $250,000 a year, you'd be doing pretty well in comparison to the rest of society. All right, you make $500,000 a year, you're doing phenomenal in comparison to the rest of society. You make $1 million and then multi-million dollars, you are doing way better than the average person. All right, it's not a, I mean, come on now. So the average person probably gonna look at that like, I mean, you can't possibly give me the girl next door vibe making multiple $1 million a year. I'm gonna go to the girl next door. No diss, and it's not a diss. But she's bringing this up because she wants to diss. Men didn't bring this up. Like I keep saying, men didn't create this competition.
Saying that it looks like she is a chef in that kitchen cooking for someone else. That's a dog whistle. And that Kai in her apartment looks like she's cooking for her man. When Jai is actually the one with a man who be in her kitchen actually cooking for a man. When Kai is cooking for the camera. And there's nothing wrong with that. Jai also cooks for the camera, but she has a man. She actually has a man. So to say that the woman who, because she's accomplished so much, that she looks like she don't got a man or she's unworthy, but because the girl is living in an apartment and y'all can afford an apartment, listen, there's nothing wrong with dating inside of your tax bracket. It's
and then we get into dating. First off, ain't none of these brothers dating either one of these girls. None of these dudes is dating either one of them. There's a certain appeal. They're just watching her videos. They tripping like there's okay. What are we even talking about here?
It's the fact that all the men in the comments are like, well, I don't want to be paying for her BBL and her. Whoa, Who asked you to? That is the thing. Men always say, we don't care how much money women makes. We don't care how much money a woman makes. But y'all want women who make as much as you or less than you because y'all like to have something over her. Because if Jai looked the same way she did, but was in an apartment that looks the same like Kai's, that this wouldn't be a conversation. This wouldn't be a conversation. But the idea of a successful woman is intimidating. And rather than say that, y'all are trying to gaslight us and change the narrative and be like, no, it's because Kai looks down to earth.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The idea, first off, is intimidating. Y'all literally making it seem like Ja is not doing well for herself. I don't know what is this thing like. Ja is sitting up there not doing great and phenomenal. She just said Ja has is in a multi-million-dollar, married, multi-million-dollar house, cooking food, all this stuff. She already has a bigger profile, has been doing this longer than Kaya. Why are we making it seem like Ja is not doing well? She's doing phenomenal. All of her content, all of the people watching it is not women either. She's doing great. There was really no need to even bring her up in the whole argument with Kaya. All right. The only reason you brought Jai up is to try to knock Kaya down a peg. That's the only reason. I'm going to show you some of the comments because now she's going to go on. We're not going to play the whole thing, but just so you can get a vibe. But the whole, a woman who's successful, that's intimidating. No. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit after I show you the rest of the video or a little bit more of the video and then the comments, and then we're going to get into that. And then after that, then we're going to get into the formula that everybody can use, whether you cook, whether you don't, whether you're a female, male, whatever. You can use this formula for your brand, all right?
I'm not saying she doesn't look down to earth, but what about Jai doesn't look down to earth? Because she's in a big ass kitchen? You can't have money and be down to earth just because.
And he didn't say that nobody was down to earth. He's saying purely based off of aesthetic. He says if you was to take both of these pictures and you were to ask a certain person, a random person who doesn't know who either one of these girls were, just show them a video of them cooking, and you say one is in a multi-million-dollar house and another one is in what seems to be an average apartment, who do you think would probably be more down to earth? That's what he's saying.
Because you have money, you're out of touch. I really want y'all to explain it to me because men keep coming in the comments saying, you don't understand, that's not what he meant. He literally said, most men can't afford her. But then, after he says, he talks about money. He can't afford to buy her that. He can't afford to keep her in that house. But she's not asking you to. And then he says, you can't afford to keep her in that house. So, Kai just seems more approachable. Because you can afford her. Right? That's okay. That's okay to say. That is okay to say. But when I repeat it, men are trying to gaslight me by saying that's not what he meant. That is exactly what he meant. Jai is out of his tax bracket.
No, that's not what he meant. That's not. And we're going to stop it there. That's not what he meant. He was talking about the vibe. There is an aesthetic. Let's be honest. There is an aesthetic. He didn't really articulate it as well as I think he should have. There is an aesthetic that is different. You can like two different things for two different reasons. You can like two different people for two different reasons. I'm sure all of you all watching are not only subscribed to one YouTube channel. Hopefully you're subscribed to this one. But I am very sure that you guys are not only subscribed to one YouTube channel or one type of YouTube channel. I'm sure you guys have a variety of different YouTube channels you all listen to. I'm sure you all have a variety of different music that you all listen to. I'm sure that you all have a variety of different movies or TV shows that you all like to watch. There's a variety in different things because you might get one vibe watching this movie and you might get another vibe watching this movie, but you like them both. That's the thing. When they tried to bring up Jai, they were trying to do it and not say, hey, Jai is really good. You guys should really give Jai a chance. She cooks really good meals. She's a really cool lady. She's a black woman. You should support her. Boo wop the band. They didn't do that. They brought Jai up to kind of throw shade on Kai. That's the only reason they brought Jai up. I'm going to show you some of the comments. In the video, the recent video I just showed you, these are some of the comments in that video. All right. Also, obtainable equals broke enough for me. So if you're not obtainable, if you're more obtainable, you're broke, is what they're saying. And another one says, I don't have enough money. It's always this. All right, okay. Then this one, and these are some of, girl, you cleared him. No, I'd actually eat cooking with Jai food. So, and that's just some of the stuff. Oh, you're broke. You're no. That's not no. And the whole I'd actually eat cooking with Jai food. And then you see thousands of people liking it, or 1,000, almost 2,000 people like that video. I mean, that comment. You're doing this because you created this competition where you brought up Jai literally to be an obstacle, not an obstacle. You literally brought that up to be a competitor to Kai. That's the only reason. Men did not do that. Women are doing that. The women haters are doing that. All right. And there's no need for that. You can like them both. But the vibe is different. Kai's formula is working for her. Jai's formula is working for her. And that's good. And I wish them absolute the best. Absolutely both the best. From what I've seen, they're both seem like cool girls. All right. From what I haven't watched all their videos. So if somebody says, actually, they said about that, I ain't watched that. Just enough to know to make this video. That's all. All right. But there's no need to be hating on Kai. There's really not. Y'all seeming real bad. Y'all see, it seems like you're haters, and it's very unattractive. Jealousy is a very unattractive trait. All right. It's very unattractive. Insecurity is very unattractive. You trying to find a reason she's a pick me. Oh, her food is average. Oh, she's average. It's broke. Oh, why she got to say it talking about taking your man is you're trying to find a reason not to like her. I don't get what the hype about. You're trying to find a reason not to like her, which shows jealousy. It shows insecurity. You're coming off like a hater, and that's not attractive. It's not. And you got to stop. Let this girl be great. Let her be great, y'all. Now, the formula that she used for herself, I see a lot of other women using that. All right. And they're doing a little bit too much. Okay. The sex appeal that Kaya has, I see a lot of women doing that, and they showing a little bit too much ass. Kaya shows a little bit of ass, a little bit in the beginning, and then that's it for the video. It's not ass shots several times in the video, okay? If you want a successful formula for your brand, what you need to do is you need to understand that you can't completely take somebody else's stuff. The reason why you see a lot of the cooking with other whatever, insert last name, insert name, why that's not really doing that well is because it comes off like you're copying bar for bar cooking with Kaya. Let me tell you something. Nothing beats the original. There's a special, unique love for the original. Nothing beats it. It's a special love for the original. Now, when you have a brand, one of the reasons why the Kaya imitators are not taking off is because they're trying to do too much like Kaya. They see Kaya's success and they're saying, I'm going to copy that word for word, bar for bar. So they literally do the same dance. They do the same little jingle. And I'm not saying it's is bad, because there might be a Cooking with Kaya challenge, and that might be, I guess, the intro to the challenge. That's cool. But long term, if you really want to launch a brand, you can't copy Cooking with Kaya. And this goes for all brands. Don't try to copy a brand that is successful, because all you're going to look like, you're going to make that original brand look better, because it looks like you have all of these imitators. Nobody wants the imitation over the original. Nobody likes that. So you're only going to make the original brand look better when you try to imitate it bar for bar like that. Now, when there are certain things that you can copy, there are certain things that you can look and be like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to start doing that. Oh, I like that. For me on YouTube, there's a lot of stuff I listen to or watch, and I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to start adapting that. Okay, that's a good idea. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you see somebody have a good idea, a good concept, whether that's cooking, or your brand TikTok, whether that's Instagram, YouTube, music, whatever, you can and you should be able to adapt good ideas into your brand. Now, the reason why people have an issue with that, the original people content have an issue with that, is because most of the time, and I know because this has happened to me, most of the time when you put something out there and then when people copy it, they don't like to cite their source. When people copy it, they don't like to really acknowledge where they got it from. That's the problem. So if you copy something, if somebody has a concept or a talking point or whatever the case is, most of the time they won't even mind you saying, hey, you know, I saw one video and such, I said his video, her video, she said such and such, or she does a really good job explaining it. I'm just going to give a talking point. Absolutely fine. The problem with that is that most of the people take something bar for bar, I mean, just copy the whole thing, and they don't cite their source. They actually make it seem like they came up with it, which is why people don't like when their stuff is copied, because most people will not acknowledge where they got their stuff from. All right. So if you are going to take something, a concept, a talking point, an idea, just admit, like, hey, I heard such and such say that. I heard such and such. He said that. She said that. You know, I was watching his video. I was watching her video, and I heard her bring up this good point. I heard him bring up a good talking point, and that's fine. And it shows that you have integrity. That's also good for your brand, because you don't want people to say you're copying other people's stuff and you're trying to come off as this original entity that you're not. If you copy something, you want your brand to be authentic and you want your audience to know your authenticity. So if you do copy something, maybe like a little jingle, maybe like a little dance or whatever the case is, be all like, oh yeah, I got that from them. Now, when it comes to copying, try to only copy when necessary. Don't try to just, if somebody is doing something, I'm going to take some from you, 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 and you're building this like Frankenstein brand. Don't do that. That's not good, and that doesn't work out. Have a core, your core, all right, be original. The core of your brand and of yourself, have that be original, all right? And try to have everything about it be as original as possible. All right, because nothing beats the OG. Nothing beats the OG. Try to have your thing be original. Try to have your intro be original. Try to have your outro be original. Your hook. Try to have the content to a degree be original. I get it's hard. There's thousands, millions of people out here making content, and brands and stuff, businesses and stuff. I understand that. But try to have a bit of originality, because that gives authenticity. All right. Try to have your logo. Don't have your logo or your name or your hook or everything be bar for bar something. Don't do that. All right. Because all it seems as if, why would I go to the knockoff when I can go to the original version. So you want to have a core of originality with any, whether that's cooking, whether that's cleaning, whether that's gaming content, whether that's anything you do, okay? Political content, social content, whatever it is, have a core of originality. And if you take a concept or a copy, make sure you cite that. All right. Another thing as well too, and we can really get into the branding of it. Have your hook be something very easy to remember. Where if somebody brings up what you want is your hook to be something catchy that's original to you. It's very important that your hook is original to you. If you copy anything, try to make sure that your hook is something that is original to you. All right. Because, and the reason why is because you want, if somebody else does your hook, be all like, oh no, he got that from Afro. That's what Afro be doing. All right. You want that because that is the face really of your originality. If somebody brand new stumbles across your brand, you want them to see something cool, something new, something that brings them in. If they see, okay, well, your hook is the same as somebody else's, I'm not going to watch a knockoff. Don't have a knockoff face. The hook and everything, your hook, your logo, the little jingle or whatever, that essentially works as the face. You want that to be original. You want the rest of the body, which is the rest of the subject or the video. We're just going to use video for this instance. You want that to be original too. All right. But you can kind of add a little bit of, you can copy a little bit here or there to perfect it. All right. So if somebody uses, like, for instance, if somebody uses movie clips, there's a lot of channels who use movie clips or cartoon clips to kind of emphasize a point in the video. You might use the same clips, but make sure you cite your source. Don't use all of the same clips, but just make sure you cite your source. If you use maybe one or two clips or whatever, be all like, oh, I like this concept or whatever the case is, or he uses these sound effects and I use sound effects similar to his, but I got it from him. Okay. But try your best not to just be a copycat. Just try your best not to do that. It's bad for your brand and authenticity. All right. But you don't want your hook to be that. All right. You want to come up with something, sit down, think about it, look around. All right. Come up with something that under your audience gets. You have to understand who your audience are. Who is your audience? What do they like? What will hook them in? Your target, what will hook your target in? All right. Understand all of these things. And then once you do, then you create some type of hook and brand. And you can adjust that according to who you are and keep up with that. Keep up with the vibe of your originality as well, too. Because a lot of people, they'll have one style one time, and then when that's not working to their liking, they'll completely rebrand and create another style another time. And then if that don't work out, they'll rebrand and create another style another time. Okay. Come on now. Don't do that. Keep a core of originality. All right. Don't be trying to bounce around all the place, because the people who your day ones, if they're your day ones and you're making cooking videos from your day ones, they're not trying to watch you make videos of cleaning your garage or cleaning a car. That's not the content they're looking for. And then if you make videos, you switch to cleaning cars, they're not trying to watch you play video games. So you don't bring your audience all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Now you can just be, this is a video, a thing about myself and I do everything. That's one thing. But don't be changing your niche around. Have originality. All right. Be true to yourself. What works, and you have to understand patience is very important. All right. What works for one person might not work for you. What works for one person might blow up a lot faster than you. Don't one of the biggest things not to do is don't be a hater. Don't be jealous of the next person. If we're talking about YouTube, we talking about TikTok, we talking about Instagram, there is enough views for everybody. All right. There is enough likes for everybody. There is enough followers for everybody. There is enough subscribers for everybody. You don't need to, and it's bad for you to try to knock somebody down a peg because they're doing better than you. All right. I'm not saying you got to like everybody, because on this channel, I call people out all the time. I'll call somebody out if I need to. But do you ever see me just talking about somebody just to knock them down a peg? Just to knock them down? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. All right. So these are the core formulas. I can make a whole nother video about this, but these are the core formulas that you can adapt in your brand. All right. Summarizing it. All right. Originality, very important. And whether you take it in order or not, originality, very important. Understanding your audience, very important. All right. This isn't going in order. I'm just naming them. Understanding your audience. Who do you want your video, your content, your brand to attract? Understand them. What is going to attract them? What is going to keep them there? What is going to have them coming back? Understanding that. All right. Improving on things where it's needed. In this channel, I've made a lot. If you go from my day one to now, I've made a lot of improvements where improvements were needed. I'm always trying to think like, oh, okay, I can adapt this. This is new. I can adapt this. I think people will like this. And I adapt things as it's needed. Self-improvement, I would say. Always, always, always work on self-improvement. Because you can always get better. Don't matter who you are, how big your brand is, how much money you have, how many followers you have. You can always get better. So self-improvement. All right. But don't be a copycat. All right. I guess that would be number 4. Copy where certain things are needed. Don't be a copycat. Don't steal people's stuff. Don't do that. If you take like a photo or a little sound bite or something like that, a little concept, a talking point, cite your source. Give credit where credit is due. That does not make you any less intelligent. That does not make you any less worthy. That does not mean this other person is better than you. They just had a nice concept. They just had a nice talking point that you resonate with and you want to share with your audience. All right. Just cite your, because that's going to bring authenticity. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why, because if you don't do it and they find out you got this from somebody else, it's going to make you look like a phony. Don't look like a phony. Don't do that. All right. And the 5th thing I will say, and this goes for all brands, and there could be more points and stuff like that. I might need, if y'all want me to, I can make a whole video about it. The 5th thing I will say is consistency. All right. Kaya did not blow up just one single video, 1 or 2 videos, and now she's got millions of views and millions of people looking at her and all. No, it was she consistently making videos and videos and videos. When you first start making stuff, you might think that your stuff is good, and it really might be, but you really need that traction. And sometimes traction, you get that traction right away. Sometimes it takes a long time to build. All right. Just make sure that you are making the improvements of yourself and just keep working at it. All right. Understand your audience, because you might be trying to work at it, but you might be completely missing your audience. Understand your audience, understand your brand, what you need to do, be original, and keep on consistently. All right. All right. You're not going to blow up overnight. Most of the people don't blow up overnight. And then most of the people who blow up overnight, they don't stay relevant. All right. Overnight celebrities, for the most part, don't stay relevant, which is what you don't want to be. So you're going to have to keep on, okay? You can't be on one time and then gone for several months at a time, then come back, and don't do that, all right? If sometimes people can make content or videos or whatever every single day. I can't do that every single day. There's a lot of people who can't do that every single day. If I would recommend, for instance, if you want to start a YouTube channel, if you can make a video every day for 1 week, but you know you can't stay with that, I would not do that. I would not give the audience something that they couldn't rely on. Give people things that they can rely on. That's another part of understanding your audience, what they want, understanding your brand, what you can do in your capability. All right. Give people things that they can rely on. They can rely on a video a week, or even a video every 2 weeks. They can, if I can say, I can guarantee you a video every week, maybe more, but I know I can guarantee you one. They can rely on that. All right. If they can rely on if it's a big topic or whatever, I can give that. I can voice my opinion. I can give people things that they can rely on. People can never rely on inconsistency. You can do a video every single day for a week, for a month, and then be gone for 4 months. If you do a video every day for a month, that's 30 or 31 videos, and then you're gone for 4 months. People can't rely on that. You're too wishy-washy. You got to be consistent, and don't quit if you making videos and you thinking you doing well, because trust me, I know you thinking you doing well and you thinking it's the video that's going to blow up, and it just don't. And it just don't. And it will make you want to quit. Or it makes a lot of people, it will make a lot of people consider quitting. Don't do that. All right. Just stay the course. Stay the course. Follow the concepts of your originality, who you are, what you can deliver on. Make the improvements that's necessary. Do your best to watch other content or other brands that are within your niche to understand what, not to understand them, to copy them. Don't do it to copy them. Do it to have a better understanding of your audience. Understand your audience. Adapt some of the things that you know that you can do original that will grab your audience and keep your audience there, and stay consistent with that. And this is a universal formula. I can get into more detail, but this is a universal formula that a lot of different brands can be using, and a lot of different brands can be blowing up and being consistent with. And this is one of the things that Kaya has been using, that, which is good for her, has been blowing her up and making her this big star that everybody's talking about. And shout out to her for that. And I wish her absolutely the best. And it's good. Everybody give a round of applause. I know you're not watching this live, but let's give a round of applause, or the cooking emoji. Let's give the chef emoji to our sister Kaya. Wish her the absolute best in all of her endeavors. Now, family, I need you all to follow me on my various social media pages, which is Afro Elite on YouTube. It is Afro Elite on YouTube, Afro Elite on Instagram, and then the Afro Elite on X. All right. The description, the links to the description, the links to the social media is in the description. Lord. All right. Also, make sure that you guys follow me on my various social media. Make sure that you guys see, I switched it up. Y'all see, I switched it up. Make sure that you guys like this video. All right. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the video. Make sure that you guys hit that notification. Make sure you're still subscribed. Stay subscribed, because they be doing stuff. Make sure you guys are all that. All right. If you like this, if you want to see more content like this, make sure that you guys subscribe, because that helps the channel grow, and it helps me with the channel be able to make the improvements that is necessary, be more consistent, and all of that stuff. So if you want to see this channel grow, then make sure that you guys hit that like button, very important. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. Also, follow me on the various social media pages so that way you don't miss out on anything either. And let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this subject? What do you think about cooking with Kai? What do you think about just the branding of it? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. And I appreciate every single last one of you all for watching. Thank you so very much. All right. Peace out, family.